Hello, my name is Melchizedek Leo, and today we'll be discussing hypertension in the Bronx. It's going to be a multidisciplinary assessment on how social determinants impacts the health and well-being of Bronx residents. Thank you. So, although situated not too far from Manhattan, the High Bridge Concourse area flagrantly differs in their social structure. On a macroscopic scale, one may visit the area and notice the fairly central strip, which begins at 149th Street, and it holds basic food options and bars and whatnot. And one may also notice the Target just outside the outskirts of this main strip. And this department store serves as the main department store for the entire area. So it's important to notice that. And by 151st Street, the commercial area is no longer. New houses are being built, which implies future transformation. It's a residential area in nature, but the new houses also implies gentrification, right? According to last year's rate, home ownership in High Bridge and Concourse was at 6.2% with a 121 property sale. So we must also take into account the demographic indicators. High Bridge Concourse area has a growing Hispanic population, and they are the largest subgroup across the Bronx several districts. Among the various racial groups, Hispanic have the lowest home ownership. Additionally, most residents' annual income has not made drastic increase since 1990, inflation adjusted. Low income precedes poor housing, which exposes the residents to high health risks. Additionally, this ethnic status poses a threat to their accessibility to adequate health care. Studies have shown to associate low proficiency in English to adverse health outcomes. And this comes in language barriers, which is along the causal pathway of poor health implications. This could be attributable to multiple reasons, ranging from knowledge to afforded healthcare rights and providers' limited knowledge on cultural competency or limited foreign language social services overall. So now we're going to take a deeper dive into the social determinants, and it includes poor housing, immigration status, limited English proficiency, and more, and how these all contribute to poor health outcomes in this particular area. Although the track isn't so linear, these various inadequacies are along the causal pathway, which results to the Bronx inability to contend with its adjacent neighborhoods. In 2015, the New York City Department of Health published an epi-data brief which categorized some parts of Bronx hypertension prevalence as 1.4 times higher in high poverty neighborhoods than among those living in low poverty neighborhoods, and that's 32% versus 24%. And likewise, they have identified hypertension similar prevalence rate to be among adults with less high school education than among adults with college or more, and that's 33% versus 24%. Therefore, one may notice an additional social pattern of education accessibility or the lack thereof with hypertension and overall poor health outcomes. The same New York City Department of Health report indicated that of the 66% of identified hypertension cases, individuals did not abide with the recommended sodium limit per day. Now, why is that? We can see that other unhealthy lifestyle choices, such as less fruits and vegetables, but more sugary drink consumption and insufficient exercise, contribute to these high rates. In some neighborhoods, such as Grand Concourse and High Bridge, were concentrated with a host of poor quality food options. And this additional contextualization would also help inform investigators for the root cause of this endemic. Besides recommended daily consumption, food accessibility and the lack thereof may provoke poor health outcomes such as hypertension. Occupation may play a significant role into the prevalence of hypertension. Considering that the Bronx is a predominantly immigrant borough, most residents are employed through blue-collar jobs. A study conducted by the International Journal of Hypertension indicated that most of the occupations afforded to these minorities have long-term compound detrimental effects of shift work and short sleep, including alcohol consumption and tobacco use. This same study suggested a correlation of hypertension prevalence between shift work and short sleep duration. One may hypothesize that short sleep leads to sympathetic nervous system activation, otherwise known as fight or flight, which precedes high blood pressure. In addition to the actual health linkage, the conditions of the workplace itself may also influence hypertension prevalence. Minorities or immigrants with low education mostly attain blue-collar jobs to sustain their families, and they may succumb to the everyday stresses. For example, the pressure of an immigrant father with a large family to feed may have to wake up early in the morning in Bronx to travel to the heart of Manhattan to complete enough taxi rounds, or a single immigrant mother worrying about putting her son through school may have to wake up early in the morning to fulfill her house cleaning duties for a local hotel that doesn't even pay much, or they offer negligible health benefits. According to the New York City Comptroller, 16.30% of residents are uninsured, which may attribute to their occupation directly, and they may also be underinsured. This story transcends Bronx and serves as the American dream for a lot of minority families and their strenuous occupations. These compound stresses may strain workers enough to subsequently expose them to hypertension. Similarly, work stress may lead to further risky health behaviors such as alcohol consumption or smoking. In regards to the social determinants, the list goes on and on, but what's essential is that certain things are preventable. In 2012, 969 hospitalizations were potentially preventable from hypertension. So I'm going to propose a couple solutions. First, fixing certain green spaces in the area and making it adequate for people to work out. Second, allowing telemedicine to reach out to certain people who can't access immediate care, and doing so can increase accessibility and also meet people where they're at as far as their job schedules and whatnot. And addressing food deserts and creating more healthy food options for the area. Here are my references, and thank you for watching.